Hi. Okay, so this is the first ever episode of Girl, Be Serious. I'm the most least serious person you'll ever meet, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but here we are. We're here and we're having a podcast and it's going to be great. And if you're like, Riss, what is this podcast going to be about? Well, it took me a while to figure that out. I created this room, first of all. This room was a random dream we had, and I whipped it together, with some teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And now we have this lovely room. So I wanted to be like, guys, this is this is the potential this room has. So here we are. We're doing a podcast. We're doing a thing. And you're here with me, and I appreciate it. So, one way that you start a podcast is by answering some questions. Okay, so here we go. This is question number one. Why did I start the podcast? I just answered that. But I used to have a podcast with one of my best friends, and we had fun doing it. And, life happened. We kind of stopped doing it. And I'm on the radio, and you can come listen and hang out with me 3 to 7 every weekday on 1055 JYY. I'm live on TikTok. You can find me at radio_Rizzo. So join me there. But I have that lovely show that I do every single day. And why not do a little additional 2.0, Radio Rizzo 2.0? So here we are. And Girl, Be Serious, it took a long time for me to come up with a name. Because how do you come up with a name for a podcast that you don't know what it's going to be about? So we named it Girl, Be Serious. Because I don't like being serious. It's not my favorite. I like to be silly and have fun and quirky and relatable, as we do anyway. Number 2. What is this podcast even about? Wow, we're really getting ahead of ourselves here. Honestly, it's going to be about everything. Dating, working, mental health, advice, life, myself, anything we want it to be. Dream is what you make it. Isn't that what they say? Number 3, a little personal question. What's one thing you're struggling with right now? I would say kind of balancing life. I'm in a interesting spot in my 20s. 20s are a very, very different age group for many reasons. You're finding yourself, you're learning about yourself, you're kind of getting your foot in the world, finding your placement, and finding out who you are as a person, what you like, what you don't like. I feel like 20s, it's so easy to be so hard on yourself in your 20s and to be very judgmental of yourself and where you are compared to where you think you're supposed to be. And it's also an age where anything could happen. I feel like when you're in your teens, everyone's kind of doing the same thing. You're all in school. You're all doing the same thing. But then in your 20s, like anything can happen in your 20s. You can get married. You can have kids. You could move out. You could get a dog. You could still live with your parents. You could be going to college. You could have a job that you don't love. You could have a job that you do love. Like it's such a wide range of everyone finding their place in the world, and some feeling left behind, some feeling like super ahead, but everyone still is dealing with their own problems. So the 20s, can't wait to get out of them. But it's a scary thought because I'm almost out of them, and I don't know if I'm mentally ready. I'm physically there, but mentally, I'm like, I'm near the end. But we'll get over that fear, probably, hopefully, when we get there. How's it going? Everyone's still hanging in? Okay, now it's time for the Be Serious hotline. I asked you guys to send me questions. I asked you on my TikTok, radio_Rizzo. I will keep plugging that till I die. Come follow me. Come hang out with me every single day. 3 to 5. We hang out. We have fun. We laugh. We block people because TikTok can be scary. But let's answer some questions. You guys sent in questions. You guys are amazing. And let's answer them. Okay. Everyone around me is moving forward. New jobs, relationships, houses, and I feel stuck. What do I do? Okay, first of all, social media is such a dangerous place. I know we're on social media right now. You're scrolling, you're doom scrolling. You're like, "Oh my gosh, I want that life. Why don't I have that life?" You need to unfollow all the people who you follow that make you feel bad about yourself because it's not fair to you. It's not fair, especially if you are like stuck on like I'm going to stay on social media. Cuz my first advice would be like get off social media because that's the number one place where you can compare your life to someone else's. And it's so easy because it's on our phone, it's right in front of us. We're staring at it, we get notifications, we see it all, the time. I have been known to compare myself, my life to someone else's. Like even my best friend's life. She has the life that I wish that I had because when I was 20 years old, I was like, I'm going to have children. I'm going to be married. I'm going to have a house. I'm going to have a dog. I'm going to have a farm all but by the time I'm 25. And sweetie, I don't have any of that. So life is just on your own timeline. It's not whatever everyone else is doing, it's what you're doing and what makes you happy and focusing on what you have going on right now, but still having goals, working towards goals is extremely important and working towards something that makes you excited and especially having things that make you excited throughout the day. And second, nobody is as happy as they show themselves on social media. Social media is it's so toxic because it's like the highlights of everyone's life. Not they could post, "Oh my god, such a great weekend with my husband and my children," and they post super cute pictures. But you didn't see the kids having breakdowns, tantrums, you fighting with your husband on where to do, what to do, and you then having like an emotional breakdown because you feel ugly in all your clothes and you just didn't like what you looked like in that time because we've all been there. And like, oh, let me pack these cute outfits. Then you put the outfits on and you're like, I look horrible in all of these. So, a little flashback there. And then you're like, oh my gosh, they had such a great weekend. They had so much fun when in reality, they didn't. And they are, just human beings, just like us. And then they'll go on social media and do the exact same thing with other people. So don't let it affect you and don't have the mindset of everyone else is living the life that you're not living because you're on your own timeline. You are doing your own thing in your own life. You have your own story and not everyone can be you. That's the best part about being you is that nobody can be you and you can only be you. And that's the best part. That's why being original is so amazing. We get that. It's a blessing, isn't it? Okay. Number two, someone asked, how do you stop caring what people think? I used to struggle with this really bad. I used to be a people pleaser. I kind of still am in different ways, but I used to be so shy. I used to be so introverted and terrified of interacting with other people. Now here I am. I have my own radio show. I can host awards. Like I can talk in front of hundreds of people and not even bat an eyelash. So it's a lot of mindset and a lot of knowing that everyone is doing their own thing and whether they judge you or not, that's all on them. Whatever they're thinking in their head is also none of your business. And if someone tells you what they're thinking in your head without you asking them, like they have issues and they need to work on their issues. Because walking around telling your opinion when no one asked you is terrifying. Like it's a scary thought of like you just do that all day. How do you survive? What are you doing? So we're all here on earth and whatever makes you happy. If here's a great example. I was on a cruise once and I was all by myself. The person I was on the cruise with was doing something else and I wanted to go to this award, like this like show. It was like a karaoke show. And I went by myself and I sat there and they're like, does anyone want to play? Like hundreds of people around. And I was like, I want to play. I raised my hand and they were like, you right over there. And I went up on stage I was on stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. It was girls versus boys. And I was like, guys, I work at a radio station. It's like a karaoke, um, like quiz kind of. And I was like, guys, I got this. Do not fear. And they played a bunch of songs. I knew all the songs. And you kind of like had to run up to the microphone if you felt like you were confident enough in the song. And you could run up to the microphone and sing the lyrics. It was pretty much like finish the lyrics. That's what the game was, but in like a game show kind of a way. So we were playing, and everyone, there was like some older songs. And so the older ladies were like, I got this, guys. And they would run up and they would finish the lyrics, get it wrong or right. The guys were crushing us. They had some very outgoing, silly, goofy guys on their team. And I got so excited. The Friends theme song played. I love Friends. I have watched Friends a couple of times all the way through. I should know the song. Okay? The song comes on and I, Miss Confident, run up to the microphone, and the lyrics are the day, your week, your month, or even your year. I skipped week. I said your day, your month, or even your year in front of hundreds of people. Like I sang it too. I was confident. And the guy was like, oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. And I got booed. They booed me on the whole audience. And you know what? I was just like, you know what? This could be either really embarrassing and horrible, or I could just be like, guys, it's fine. Walk it off. No big deal. And then go back to my team and be like, sorry, guys, my bad. And then like not let it bother me ever. Like you could either let that fester in your brain and let it ruin your day over and over and over again. And then you just never stop thinking about it. It lives rent free in your head. Or you just brush it off in that moment and be like, this is for fun. This isn't that big of a deal. So that's kind of my story on how to not let people's thoughts about you kind of rule what you do. Like if I could have been too terrified, too scared, too like, oh, what will people think if I go up? I'm all by myself. No one cared. Literally, no one cares. Same thing with the gym. I used to be really scared of the gym. And you think, oh my gosh, people are going to make fun of me. They're going to be like, who is this girl? What is she doing? No one cares. No one is at the gym truly like judging you and sitting there like being like, ew, like she doesn't know how to use that machine. No one's doing that. And if they are, I burped. No one's doing that. And if they are, that is their problem. That is not your problem whatsoever. You do not have to worry about it. Don't let it fester in your brain because you're doing it. You're at least out there doing it, you know? And that's all I have to say about that. Okay. Number 3, speaking of the gym, how do you stay motivated? When I was in college back in 2020, for some reason, my brain became like fully developed or something. And I was like, I have full control over what I do each and every single day. Like, if I want to do something, like, who do I want to be? What do I want to become? What type of person do I want to be? And I wrote down all the things that that type of person would do each day. She would go to the gym. She'd wake up early. She'd journal. She would exercise and like take care of her mental health. She'd hang out with her friends. She would, take care of herself. She'd have her nails done all the time. And I would write all this down. And then I would create like a nice flowing schedule. I wasn't too strict. It's too strict causes problems. But I created this kind of structure for myself. And I would do it. And I wouldn't let myself say, no, I don't want to do it because and maybe you do this too, so easily make excuses for myself. Like, oh, I had a really hard day, or oh, I am tired, or oh, I'd rather just not do it. And I still kind of find myself doing this, but you have to tell yourself, dig in, be like, no, I'm going to do it because I know it's going to make me feel better. I know I am going to be happy that I did it, and it's progress. You have to do it in order for anything to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Remember that. It's all just self-discipline too. Like whatever you think that you don't have control over your life, like you have full control over every part of your decision making. Okay. And if you don't, then you don't. And I'm sorry, but most people do. And like I have full control over going to bed early. I have full control over waking up on time and not being lazy and being like, oh, 5 more minutes. And then I can, do my hair properly and make breakfast rather than stopping at Dunkin's and getting a croissant stuffer, which is my favorite, which I did all last week because I was lazy and I didn't go grocery shopping when I should have just been like, no, I'm not going to go straight home. I'm going to stop at the store first. I'm going to pick up some groceries. But no, I was lazy. And that's a really great example of, not entirely being consistent all the time, but having grace with yourself is super important. If I hit this mic one more time, we're all going home. All right, so let's be serious. Girl, be serious. Here's what I realized. You don't need to have everything figured out. Kind of just summarization of this podcast. You don't have to have everything figured out, but I think trying your absolute best in what you do what you do every single day truly matters. And I think laziness is something that a lot of people struggle with and they deal with. And it's because we allow ourselves to be lazy. And so, and which is great sometimes, if you've been super, super busy and you need time for yourself, you've been, running around crazy and you need to relax, that is one thing. But if you are constantly being lazy, if you're constantly giving yourself too much time, if you're constantly slacking off and not doing things that you should be doing all the time, it's so easy to fall into, and I totally understand. And I feel like I'm in a rut. If I leave my room dirty, if I get home and I just throw everything on the ground, then it just all piles up and I hate it and I feel messy. So I clean up my environment. I'm like, why don't I keep it this way more often? Like, it's because I'm lazy. I need to stop being lazy and having full control over all the decisions you make and what makes you happy, doing what makes you happy, finding a structure in your life is so important, and continuously showing up for the person who you want to become eventually. And I think that's so important. And also just keeping your eyes on the prize, keeping your eyes on the goals, and that will help you not take so much from other people's lives and focus on your life. Like, how can you make your life so much better where you're at right now? Like, what can you do to make each day 10 times better, 5% better every single day? And how can you build that confidence within yourself, that trust within yourself? That's also a huge thing that I figured out in my 20s, was building trust within yourself. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it because I trust myself to do it. Does that make sense? Like, if you keep disappointing yourself, you're going to lose that trust within yourself, that you're going to have that faith in what you can do and what you're going to do each day. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Um yeah, even if you're just getting out of bed on time, not hitting snooze, brushing your teeth. Brush your teeth, kids. Floss. Floss. Please floss. Wash your armpits. Get a bar of antibacterial soap and just scrub, People don't scrub enough, especially with antibacterial soap. Learned that, period. But giving yourself credit for surviving each day is also so important, and treating yourself enough. Not too much, which I have done. I used to treat myself with shopping too much, far too much. And it's unnecessary. If you treat yourself with the small things, find small things that you can treat yourself with that doesn't totally take you out of your productionist. Productionist? Google it. It's a real word. So yeah, that's episode 1 of Girl Be Serious. I hope you enjoy. Hopefully, episode 2 will have maybe a little bit more structure. We're really just here to talk. If you guys have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram. Find me at Girl Be Serious Pod. And yeah, hang out with me on TikTok 3 to 5, Monday through Friday. We hang out there, radio_Rizzo. We hang out, we have fun. I'm on the radio 3 to 7 every single weekday and on Saturday as well. So you can find me all there. I think I'm going to be posting Tuesdays for podcasts. And you can find, I think I'm going to have this up on the Pulse podcast website and on Studio 88's YouTube page and my Instagram, TikTok. It's going to kind of be everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed. Stay real, stay funny, and always, girl, be serious. Did I do it?